Here we go with part 2 of grade and upgrade your relationships. You can do that using the chart, which you can download where you got this knowledge bite. And if you haven't watched part 1, I suggest you go back and watch that first, then proceed to this part 2. At the end of part 1, I was talking about how I use the chart in my live seminars. And one of the things I do is I ask people to read the chart for a couple of minutes. And as they're reading it, I'll say, can you see yourself at different levels with different customers? Oh, yeah. And then I'll say, well, what else could you do with the chart besides leave it in your handout? And I'll give people 2 or 3 minutes to think. And someone always says, well, I guess I could tape it to my cubicle wall and read it once in a while. And I say, yep, you could do that. There's some other things you could do. I could use a chart to plan a meeting. Yep, could do that. I could grade my current client relationships and make a plan to upgrade them, which is what this whole video is about. Of course you could do that. Grade the meeting I just had, someone else would say. And that's called self-assessment. So you leave the meeting and let's say you're in your car and you're reading the chart and say, what level was that meeting? How did I plan it? How did it end up? What could I have done differently? What could I have done better when they said this? What could I have said? And you do that self-assessment, and that gets you to be successful sooner because you're always thinking about improvement. Now, level 1 is the worst level. Don't do anything in level 1 if you can help it, and you can help most of it. Go to level 2. Set your preference level 2. You can do all those things even if you're a rookie. And then have level 3 moments. We'll talk about level 3 moments in just a little bit as we're going through this rest of this video. When you're level 3, the objective is customer creation, not just making a sale, but customer creation and retention. To find the fit, upgrade the client, gain information. Level 4, to continue upgrading, increase the share of business. So you have a bigger share of the client's business vis-a-vis your competition. Peter Drucker said, the purpose of business is to create a customer. You're not trying to make a sale, you're trying to create a customer. And so I've said this to my audiences for years, the second sale is more profitable than the first sale. And you know that if you're in broadcasting, for example, you sell the annual contract, it takes a lot of work, but the renewal is a lot easier. And it's more profitable because you didn't have to spend hours and hours and hours getting that sale. Level of trust, when you're level 3, you're credible to highly credible based on the history. Complete trust, level 4, based on established relationships and past performance. They take your calls. So go to dinner with you, play golf with them, whatever it is. But there's more to it than just just across the desk. Level 3 approach and involvement is you want to be a true source of industry information and business intelligence. You're bringing them data, bringing them ideas. Level 4, your approach is less formal and more comfortable because of trust and history. You don't have to break the ice or get them involved. They want to see you. They enjoy talking to you. All right. Concern or self-esteem issue. At level 3, you want to be a resource, helpful. Level 4, you want to be seen as an outside insider. And I always said, an unpaid employee of the client's business. They see you as part of the team. When you get invited to the holiday party, that means you're making a difference in their business. They see you as a team member, not just a salesperson. And I got invited to Christmas parties, and when I'm the only rep, there are only a couple of reps there, you know that you're helping the person, and they think highly of you. Or their client recruits you. They try to get you to come to work for them. And you ought to be getting job offers 4 or 5 times a year, if not more. Then pre-meeting preparation, level 3, you're researching trade magazines, you're on the internet, you're analyzing clients' competition. You're doing more than just trying to sell your product or service. And level 4, thorough preparation, sometimes with proprietary information not available to other reps. Then we go to point of contact. The buyer's end user. So the buyer could be the media buyer, it could be the store owner, it could be the purchasing agent, but you're also talking to the end users. Maybe you have an internal coach or an advocate within the company who's promoting you to the people that matter. I remember when I would get a buy from a department store I was working with. I say, well, I'd like to come in and play the commercial to your sales team so they know what's going on and they can do a better job of selling and upselling the customers that come in. Oh, you do that? Yeah, I do that. And I'd come in and play it and talk to them about it. So there's that. So you're talking to end users, and then if you're level 4, you're networked through the company, doing business with other divisions, other departments. The person you sold to has introduced you to his or her peers, and that's a good place to be. And then the presentation, you're selling a system solution at level 3, not just a product, a one-time use. In the broadcast business, it's a campaign, annual, and not just a package for a couple of months or a week or two. Level 4, you're talking about return on investment, proof and profit management strategies. So you're having more business discussions with people, not just your product discussions, product and service. So there's the whole chart. And you think about it, you can have a level 3 moments, even if you're level 2, but you have a level 3 moment. And that could go something like this. And this is something nobody ever thinks about when I say, what can you do with the chart besides keep it in your handout? I tell them, because nobody's ever come up with this in a seminar. I say, what if you take the chart to a client who has a sales team and say, hey, I got some training, and there's this author, Chris Lytle, he's a speaker author, and he has a book called The Accidental Salesperson, and the chart is the kind of the foundation of how do you really build relationships with your clients that are more profitable and good for both of you. And I thought you might want to use this in a sales meeting with your team. And if you'd like, I'd come in and do 15 minutes on how I use the chart and how it might affect them. Would you like me to do that? If you go in and conduct a sales meeting for a client, think about the stature you have now in the company, and you're more of an outside insider because you're contributing more than just your product or service. So last story. I did a seminar for United Van Line's Executive Relocation Division. And the salespeople go out and sell relocation services to corporations. So when they've hired an executive or transferred an executive, they set up, they move the home, research the schools, neighborhoods, move the pets. And so they sell bundle these services and sell them to corporations. So this guy comes up to me. He's one of the sales guys. He said, Chris, I read your book. He said, and I saw the chart, and he said, I made a copy of it. Hope that's okay. I said, it's fine. And I took it to this buyer who was not letting me in. He'd buy a few things, but he wouldn't use all of our resources. He wouldn't let me present him other things that we can do. And I said, Tom, I think right now we have a level 1 relationship, and that's okay. If that's okay with you, it's okay with me. But if you look at this chart, we could have a higher level relationship, but I could do a lot more for you if you'd let me. So what kind of relationship do you want to have with me? He said, you want me to tell you right now? I said, no, I want you to read this and look at it. And then when I come back in a couple of weeks, I want you to tell me what kind of relationship you want to have. Okay. And he said, I came back in 2 weeks and it was a different guy. He was open. He asked me questions. What else could we do? And he said, I've sold him so much more because I asked him what kind of relationship he wanted to have, and he chose a higher relationship himself. So would you dare do something like that? Would you dare take the chart out and say, how would you grade me right now? You could do that as well if you had the nerve. But whatever you do, do something. Now you know how to grade and upgrade your relationships. But as I ask my audiences all the time, what are you going to do with the chart? And when are you going to do it? Talk soon.